Let's go ahead and start with the Kyren Lacey thing, and I want to start with Ryan Clark and what he said. And I usually don't agree with a lot of things he says, especially football takes. I feel like Ryan Clark sometimes just tries to be Nostradamus. He's always linking black and white stuff, you know, and I don't mean like just the color, I mean skin color. But here on ESPN, he said something that I actually agree with. And so I wanted to play. Without further ado, let's jump into our first video of Ryan Clark. And I forget this guy on the left's name. Van Pelt. Scott Van Pelt.
Yes, please. Yes. Oh, I beg your pardon. I did want to clear space for this.
1 second, please.
This is important.
Yes, guys, Kyren Lacey was supposed to be in the NFL. Kyren Lacey was accused of something and being investigated for something that he didn't do, and he died having to live with the guilt and the consequences of a guilty man knowing he was innocent. It recently was discovered that he was 72 yards away from the crash, that police and state policemen tried to coerce and doctor and use ways to manipulate statements that put this young man behind bars. They changed his joy, they changed his life, and eventually he took his own life. This was supposed to be a career, but at least he was supposed to be here. At some point throughout his career, I would expect to have said his name. So I'm gonna say his name tonight.
Amen.
Kyren Lacey was innocent. Kyren Lacey should be here with us. Nothing will ever repair or replace the pain that his parents have to feel and his loved ones have to feel. But we could say his name. There were so many stations that ran the fact that he was being investigated. So I wanted to make sure here with Scott, we could say that he was an innocent man and at least know that he has that as he rests.
You and I talked about this earlier tonight, and I'll just share with them what I share with you. I can't recall ever seeing something that made me react viscerally to the point that I felt like my hands were trembling to think that there's video that shows that this is not at all what happened. And that young man took his life. And so I will not say any more. It's your thoughts here. I just wanted to echo.
Thank you very much.
No, and my apologies for forgetting that because this is a more important thing than what we're talking about tonight. Ryan Clark.
So if you don't know who Kyren Lacey is, I'll put up a picture of him. This is the young man. He was an LSU wide receiver. He had a very promising career. And so essentially, and I'll show you the video in just a second, but pretty much he was blamed by multiple witnesses, and also the state police statement that was made in the report was that he caused an accident where someone swerved onto oncoming traffic and killed a 75-year-old man, I believe it was. If I'm not mistaken, he was a veteran. And we'll get into the details shortly. I'm gonna just give you the overarching point first. And so the point was that he caused this accident, and then he was charged with multiple felony charges. He was released on bond, and so the case was going to be prosecuted, obviously. And in the time between being released on bond and then waiting for the case to be prosecuted in court, he took his own life, unfortunately. When I first heard of this, I was like, oh man, you know, another young kid who was speeding in his car and caused the accident, and now this tragedy that happened, and he's probably ruined his life. That's how I thought about it. Now, I'm never the one to jump on news articles right away. I usually like to see what comes out, what happens, because everything isn't what it seems. And I hadn't spoken about this story. Plus, there was a lot of other things going on in between then and now. And then the news came out of what actually happened, which is what I'm going to show you guys next. So you see his car, and this video doesn't do as much justice.
According to the video timestamp,
but as look at the top corner,
54 seconds,
yep, right up there.
A portion of the crash can be seen as it occurs. Moments before the crash, the gold pickup truck abruptly veers out of the northbound lane into a business, while the green Charger is approaching in the same lane. Immediately after the crash occurred, the green Charger was observed on surveillance video and by witnesses traveling through the crash scene and continues north on LA 20, failing to stop.
All right, you hear the crash, and now look at the green Charger.
The briefing will now transition to the troopers' response and investigation. At 12:00 p.m., a two-vehicle injury crash with road blockage was dispatched to Louisiana State Police Troop C via the 911 dispatch system. The responding trooper arrived on the scene at 12:07 p.m. and was immediately met by numerous witnesses who described a green Charger driving aggressively and causing the crash. The video has been edited for time purposes.
Region 2, be advised, we got total road blockage on LA 20.
If you get a chance, can you advise code of injury?
Civil.
It's a natural instinct to turn, and then she had no choice. Head on.
Did you see a green charger flying that way? A green charger that going that way?
There was a green charger
There was a green charger.
that caused all this.
SRT8, he caused all of it. He went to pass the cars way back there, sir. I'm driving 18
The green charger collided with these cars?
He went right between.
He went around that truck, okay?
He was passing up
coming
with
this way,
her right now.
and she had no choice. She hits the pole, she hits this.
How are the injuries? What
She
are they?
got a broken
got a
ankle.
broken ankle,
and
yeah.
the other two are coming
Complaining
up.
about back injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was on
So
the phone with
two back injuries, one broken ankle?
Yeah,
I'm not
at
exactly.
least.
I just told him not to move.
I want to point out that the cop is talking to them as a group. So they're not, usually police are like, all right, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. He's talking to them as a group. That's an important note to take because you'll see why later.
You know what I'm saying? Me doing my part.
You said something about a green charger. Who told you something about a green charger?
I'm driving 18 wheeler right there, sir.
Okay, so you saw
I
it?
saw
So
it.
what did you see
He
happen?
went to pass him. I say when he went to pass these cars back there around around the curve, all right?
Okay.
All right. Hey, he come down, right? When he come down, I got Mr. He had his brother that he was taken to the emergency room, to the hospital or something like that, chemo or something like that.
Okay.
But I got his number also to verify this, because he was the car that was in front of her. When that green Charger came, he went caused this whole big traffic, so everybody went to hitting brakes because the Charger, I thought he was hitting the gold truck head on. So he jammed on brakes. She was coming down. They was going that way. When I saw...
Which way was the Charger going? The Charger?
No, Charger going this way.
Charger's going this way, okay.
She was coming this way.
Okay.
They was going this way also. Mr. jammed on brakes. She went to dodge Mr. And that's when
he
she
hit
came
him.
on.
I was watching. I was about to gas
She hit him, on the left side. She come over and hit him.
Which 18-wheeler were you driving?
The Rebel. Right there.
So the Charger, I guess, passed you up?
The Charger D-line, it was cars behind me because I'm taking my time.
And the Charger was passing all these cars in this
everybody.
lane? And so almost hit this one head on?
No, he almost hit this. It was a gold truck. I got his number right here. That's why I took his number and his name.
Almost hit the gold truck head on?
Yeah, that's his number and phone number and name.
So the gold truck, what did the gold truck do?
The gold truck in his area right here.
The gold truck slams on his brakes.
Slams on brakes to stop the Charger. The Charger swerves back in.
Okay.
And cut somebody else off, whoever was behind them.
Okay.
But then they slammed on, the Charger, he swerved in front of them. They slammed on brakes. And by this time, Mr. he slips through, right?
Okay.
As he slips through, she's coming. She like to ram the back of the gold truck. That's what I'm saying.
She almost hit the back of Miss.
Yeah, Mr.
Was Miss truck hit?
No. He was missed.
Okay. So the truck, Mr. He slammed on it.
In other words, it was right up. The gold truck was right up there.
Right.
Yeah.
He slams on his brakes to avoid the Charger.
Yeah.
This car,
Charger
what?
cuts that car off, if I'm not mistaken.
So what does this car do? It just swerves out the way to avoid.
To avoid him.
So she turned. Because I was watching it too.
She turned the wrong way.
That already doesn't make sense if you really think about it. The white car swerved left to avoid the Charger, so the Charger was in the wrong lane and went around the white car into the grass. Just think about that for a second. Like, he slipped in between them and the white car goes left instead of going right. That doesn't make sense. But again, we're just starting right now, so let's give him a chance. Maybe it makes more sense in a little bit.
Instead of going towards the post, she turned this way.
Okay, so she turned this way, and then this car was just coming.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
And then the Charger
If
came
you want to take that
around.
number, that's the number for
Yeah, the
the
Charger
guy
passed right
that was in the gold
Yeah.
truck.
Okay.
Charger passed in between the
Yeah, the
mailbox and
Charger
her.
stopped.
I took
Yeah,
that because
'cause
he
he
was
almost hit
leaving,
me.
but
Okay.
And see what happened, the Charger had stopped.
Is it green Charger?
Yeah.
It's
But
green
then
Charger.
when he
Okay.
seen what happened, he almost hit me because he came right here and kept going.
he was the only one that jumped out of the trailer. Everybody else turned around with the other way. He jumped.
Now they're saying that he went around the white car, right? So now if I'm trying to paint a picture, right? White car swerves left, green car goes around him. But when they started, he said the green car slipped in between and then the white car hit oncoming car, which was the car that the old man was in that was 75 years old. Still doesn't make sense. One. Two, you have two two different statements being made, multiple different statements being made. So that's already kind of weird as is, but again, maybe the police know something we don't.
A lot of traffic eased through here and went on down the road.
Okay. Okay, look, I know it's hurting right now, but do you think you could just tell me briefly what happened? Or do you remember?
I just know the truck was stopping on brakes. The other car was trying to pass the other car. I was trying to dodge by not hitting them by coming around.
Okay. Do you remember how fast you were going?
The speed limit. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Now let's go a little bit. So this is just a diagram right here that, again, I don't really like this diagram, but it does show a little bit of what happened, I guess I could say, for lack of a better term, right? Here's the video the lawyer dropped right here.
You're going to see multiple cars just making their way south to Thibodaux, coming from Vacherie. At some point in time, you're going to see the collision, which we're going to know is vehicle number 2 from oncoming traffic colliding with the vehicle.
Boom, you
of
see
Mr.
the accident
Hall.
there. As the
car
car comes to stop.
Come to stop, and then you'll see Kyren Lacey come to stop.
Yep.
So as we've seen the video, it looks like the impact happens, and then Kyren Lacey is behind him. How far away was he from there?
Well, yeah, that's the beauty of the investigative report that I now have my hands on. We know from data that Kyren Lacey did, in fact, pass 4 cars. There's no disputing that. Further north, Kyren Lacey passed 4 cars. However, he was back in his lane of travel, 92.3 yards. Back in his lane, behind Mr. Hall. At the time of impact, he's 72.6 yards behind the vehicles at the time of impact. Keyword, behind the vehicles. That is not how this story was ever painted. Never.
Any part of the district attorney's investigation that talked about Mr. Lacey getting back, I guess we call it, what do you call it, correcting or getting in your proper lane?
Sure, he was back in his proper lane according to their data. This isn't my expert. This is the investigation of the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office. So I'm here simply comparing and contrasting the District Attorney's Office with State Police in this matter, their investigations. And in that investigation,
I have this article here from CNN. He actually asked me, oh, why are you always using CNN articles? I do that because I want people to realize when I cover something, I don't just look at it from whatever point of view I want to cover, and I don't look at it from the perspective of it's going to make me right. I look at it from the perspective of what happened, what it is, and then I give my opinion. And if my opinion turns out to be wrong, you know, later on, obviously, I have no problem in being able to say, hey, you know, I was wrong about this. What we know about the case involving Kyren Lacey after Louisiana State Police released more information of fatal crash. So I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's a little bit lengthy. It basically, in the wake of new evidence, state police have published their own video of the incident in a bid for full transparency, which is funny because you would think that they would do that beforehand, but the lawyer had to come on and say something and actually find this video for them to be like, oh, well, we're going to release the footage. What were the ongoing charges he was facing? At the time of his death, Lacey was charged with negligent homicide, felony hit and run, and reckless operation of a vehicle after police said he caused the December 17th car accident in Lafourche Parish. The incident resulted in a 78-year-old man, Herman Hall, being killed and 2 other people being injured. Lacey later turned himself in and was later released on a $150,000 bond or bail on January 12th, according to the Lafourche, I don't know how to say that, Parish Sheriff's Office online records. According to a January police news release, Lacey was behind the wheel of a 2023, Dodge Charger, driving recklessly and illegally passing other vehicles while driving at a high rate of speed. He's accused of crossing the center line and entering the northbound lane while in a designated no passing zone. The police stated that Lacey's action caused the driver coming from the other direction to swerve over the center line to avoid impact with the Charger. That car then collided head-on with another vehicle. Lacey's attorney disagrees. However, Lacey's attorney last week showed evidence that suggested the former wide receiver was behind the accident at the time of impact. Speaking over a surveillance video that caught the collision, attorney Matt Ory, I think is how you say that, told TV station HDTV10 that Lacey's car was so far behind the accident that it was not even visible in the video. We know from data that Kyren Lacey did in fact pass 4 cars. There's no disputing that. Further north, however, he was back in the lane of travel 92.3 yards back in his lane behind the car occupying the man killed in the crash. He's 72.6 yards behind the vehicles at the time of impact. Keywords behind the vehicles. That's not how this story was ever painted. Never. Just 2 days before the scheduled grand jury appearance, Lacey was found dead. The new evidence has raised questions around the investigation that led Lacey's charges, which some say changed the course of his life. Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrow recently declared an investigation into the initial handling of the accident. I have been in touch with Louisiana State Police about independently reviewing all the witness statements and evidence in the case, Murrow said in a statement Monday, according to local media. In the wake of the new evidence, Louisiana State Police released a statement, full crash report, eyewitness testimony, and additional video evidence Tuesday as part of our commitment to transparency from the December crash. Yeah, the LSP is committed to providing a thorough and objective investigation grounded in science and supported by facts. LSP relied on proven methods from forensic analysis, crash reconstruction, and comprehensive evidence review to uncover the full truth. While we recognize that external narratives may arise, often based on selective information, we urge the public to rely on the full body of facts. I think that last statement is telling, and that's kind of what made me want to do this video, because it says, and I'll repeat it, we urge the public to rely on a full body of facts. Full body of facts includes that he was 92 yards away from the crash and 72 yards away once the cars did crash. I wrote this, I said, where are all the black activists' outrage over Kyren Lacey? That man was innocent and they lied about him. RIP. Someone had commented and he just put, police say ex-LSU wide receiver Lacey's reckless operation of a car caused fatal crash in 2024 after investigating what was questioned. So I immediately responded with the video.